Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Blessed Self, Adorations. The Mystery of the Soul, Katha Upanishad, translated into English by Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Shri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida. My humble Sashtang pranams at the holy lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev. Thank you for everything that you bestowed upon me and upon all devotees. As this is the day one also for Sri Krishna Janma Ashtami, year 2021, begins today, and on the 8th day there is celebration of his birth in human form. He is doing a lila, a play, because God is never like the soul. It's never born and it never dies, which is assume a physical embodiment. And we have completed chapter 1, section 1, and today is day 13, chapter 1, section 2. Mantra number 1. One is good while the other is pleasant. Both give rise to different fruits and draw men to themselves. Out of these two, Shreya, the path of blessedness, leads one to what is good. But one who chooses what is pleasant, which is prayer, loses the true goal of life. So there are two paths, Shreya Marg and Prayer Marg. Shreya Marg is the path of blessedness because it is on the path of spirituality and the goal of liberation. It may be tough, not easy for sure, but the final result will be pleasant. Whereas the prayer marg is the outward, the worldly pleasures. So the true goal of attaining liberation in the life is lost. So furthermore, the real philosophy of this Upanishad begins with this section. Yama with Nachiketas. Yama was delighted to see the blazing vairagya of Nachiketas. He knew that Nachiketas was a perfect adhikari. That means adhikari means qualified aspirant. So all this while in section 1, chapter 1, section 1, all those questions and answers were also as test for Nachiketas. Is he qualified? Does he have that vairagya? Does he have that chatushtaya? What has he done? Is he really qualified for this Atmagyan or Brahmagyan? So now Lord Yama says and confirms that he knew that Nachiketa was a perfect adhikari, means qualified aspirant for receiving Vedic or Vedantic knowledge. In order to bestow his third boon upon him, he taught him the science of the self. So then Yama spoke. O Nachiketas, there are two types of fruits attainable in this world and in the world hereafter. One is Shreya, the good, and the other is Preya, the pleasant. Shreya leads to liberation. So as simple as that. Shreya Marg, the Shreya path, leads one to liberation. This is the highest goal of a human life. So when that inspiration sprouts from you within, that I want to be liberated within this very life, that means you are being blessed with the Shreya Marg, the path of liberation. Therefore, the Upanishads describe the path of the good for those who have discrimination and dispassion. So, on that path, you should be able to have discrimination, means being able to know the difference between the real and unreal, the truth and false. So like when you chant that mantra, asatoma sadagamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. That means lead us from unreal to real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. This mantra is very important, very powerful. You should chant at least few times a day with deep down in your heart prayerfully that you really mean that you want to be led towards the light, led on the path of attaining liberation. So when they say death, means the cycle of birth and death. Lead me out of that cycle of birth and death so that I can attain immortality, means, and then liberation. So the path of pleasure, which is the second path, is for the ignorant. The pleasures of the world are short-lived and illusory. Just like I explained ahead, Premarg is short, worldly, out, outer world pleasures, and it's short-lived. It is pleasant but not nectarine at the end, whereas the other one may be tough to begin with, but it has a very beautiful, blessed ending. So Shreya and Preya. So Shreya and Preya are, these are Hindi words, not English. So are distinct from each other because of these four factors. Number one is Swarupa, which is nature. Number two is sadhana. That means what are the means of those two paths. And then praman means what is the authority for the two paths. And then number four, adhikari, means the qualifications required of the students who want to follow the path of Shreya, especially the qualification for the Shreya Marg, the path of liberation. So in the case of Shreya Marg or path, the nature of Shreya is eternal, blissful Atman. That's number one. Number two, the means of Shreya is meditation. So what is the sadhana that you do? if you want to follow the path of Shreya. Means meditation on the identity of Jiva, the soul, and Brahman, the absolute. So meditation on your soul and Brahman, the absolute, through the understanding of the Mahavakyas, the great utterance, I am Brahman. A lot of people have difficulty in even saying that. Forget about realizing. They can't even say, I am Brahman. And then the authority on which Shreya is founded is the Upanishads, or the Vedantic scriptures. And number 4, the Adhikari, means who is the qualified student of Shreya Marg? That student, the qualified student of Shreya Marg, must be endowed with sadhana chatushtaya, the fourfold means of liberation. We have covered that already, but I will repeat that. The four folds or fourfold means for liberation, the chatushtaya. Chatushtaya again, sadhana chatushtaya. That means your devotion. What do you do? What are the means? So when we say, I'm in my sadhana, that means you have certain process, either guided by your guru or your inspiration, to do so many japa and to chant so many mantras, to do abhishekam, to do meditation, do some hatha yoga. So these are the means that you can, there's a process that you can do, but then consistency. You don't have to do too much, not too much in a day, but just little by little. Say you set aside your half an hour in the morning, then you say, within this half an hour, I'll be able to do this, 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 this. And do not waste time while doing that. Or say 1 hour, which is good enough. So the Chatushtaya are number one is Vivek. Vivek is being able to do the discrimination between good and bad. Number 2, Vairagya, dispassion. And this is our recap. So dispassion means you no longer want to go to party, you no longer want to go to clubs, you don't want to go to movies, which is non-spiritual. So you don't want to do non-spiritual activities. You used to like it so much before, you would enjoy doing that. But now you have this dispassion because you are detaching from the world and attaching to God. So that's what is Vairagya. And number 3, Shat Sampat. It is 6 qualities. What is that? We also discussed that. First is you must have serenity. Then you must have self-control. Then you should be able to do renunciation. Okay, I'm no longer going to do this. I will not eat this, or I will not go do this. Something that you take oath. And then endurance. If there is hardship, if there is pain, if there is sickness, there is some sort of problem going on, are you able to endure it? Sahana Shakti, faith, and tranquility? Are you able to maintain that even during adverse conditions? Peace of mind, equanimity, and still have that same faith for God. So number 4, the fourth one is mumukshutva. Chatushdaya means 4 things. Mumukshutva means burning aspiration for God realization. I had explained you are like fish out of water and say, I will put everything aside because I want liberation in this very life so much. Of course, it's something that you follow the path, the Shatsampath, Vairagya, Vivek, you climb the ladder. And a time comes when you don't even say you want it because it's something not to be attained, something not to be achieved. It's something that is bestowed upon you automatically. You have that already in you, but you have to follow this path, follow your, or maybe do your austerity to just like you want to burn, you want to light a candle, you want to light the diya, you have to bring in that fire, you have to strike the match. You have the match, you have the box, but it's in 2 different hands. Will it ever burn? Will it ever light up on its own? No. You have to strike the matchstick to the on the box, the matchbox, the side that has got that rough edge. So you have to strike it there. You have to rub it there to bring in the light, and then you touch it to the diya or candle to bring in that flame. So same way, you have to have that discrimination, that austerity, and all those things leads to the spark that you ignite, that is already igniting. Actually, the spark is already in the core of your heart, and you have all this bundle of other things in your mind, heart. It's some pointing external and some inside, so you have to kindle that flame with the spark you have inside. And these are the steps you will take to burn, to kindle the light with the spark you already have within, like the match in the matchbox. It's already there. You have to apply the mantras and your austerity and other things to be meditation, hatha yoga, and cleanse. And just like you clean the mirror also, remove the dust to be able to see your face clearly. So all those are little examples of what it means. So mumukshutva, burning aspiration for God realization. And in the case of prayer mark, which is more of, as I said, is more of the outer world enjoyments. Number 1 is the passing pleasures of the sense objects constitute the nature of prayer. That means the pleasantness, why people like it so much. Why do they enjoy even though it is so temporary? Whereas the Shreya Marg is a permanent path that you are treading on for a permanent result. This Prayer Marg or path is temporary enjoyment and temporary embodiment. Then you die. That means the body dies, the soul continues to live, but that soul then takes another embodiment. So it is no, there's no liberation, so the temporary birth and death keeps coming. It's the cycle. So in case of prayer, number one is the passing pleasures of the sense objects constitute the nature of prayer, the pleasantness. That means your senses are being pleased. Who enjoys? Your senses enjoys. And number two is the performance of actions that are selfish, constitutes the means of prayer marg. So that means those are the means where you get your selfish actions stronger than selfless. When you do things for you, for yourself, for your family, and of course that is required, you do it, but are you doing a little bit for someone else? That means now you are moving on to spirituality. You are helping others. You are doing your service. You are using your income or your energy, your time for others also, because you have that compassion in you. And number two, we already covered. And number three is karma. The karma portion of the Vedas is the authority of the path of prayer marg. So you know good karma and bad karma. So you could be still doing good karma. Not necessarily that those who are on prayer marg do bad karma. No, it is there, good karma also, but both. So it's like both things are done equally. So in that case you do not accumulate a lot of good karma, because you are doing more of things for your own self, for your own pleasures. And number four is a man with desire is the qualified person for the path of pleasure. So as soon as there is a desire, like many things, the worldly desires, I don't have to name them. And as soon as there is a desire that arises, that means yes, you are on the prayer marg. And I'm not talking about like one or two desires, like everything is desire, desire, desire. I want to have better this, I want to have better that. And some things you do, definitely you need better, you need to change it, you need to have work hard towards it. But then how much? For example, clothes, example again is food and houses and vehicles. So something you don't have enough money, and you have a vehicle already, it may be old, so you need to change it and you have to spend money to change it. But then if you have a good car and you want to compete with someone and buy a brand name, you don't have enough money, but yet you want to get something better. So I don't know any better way of saying that, but that is not a need. If you are spending something on need, that means yeah, you need it. But if you are spending on something that is a want, that means it's a desire, and therefore you will get pleasure out of that desire. But how long? It's going to be new only for a little while, and then it's going to get old. So thus these two paths are different and mutually exclusive. So they are going on to, just like you have a fork, you are going on one freeway and all of a sudden there are two exits. You go north and you go south. exit to the same road, but it will lead you towards the northward movement and the other one towards the southward or east or west. So something like that. So that's how you can think of Shray Marg and Prayer Marg. So the division is there. Which path do you want to move on to? Or what is your goal? Do you know about liberation? Do you know about birth and rebirth cycle? After that knowledge, you can make a choice. So, end of mantra number 1 for chapter 1, section 2. And we will continue with mantra number 2 in our next session. I do want to recognize our day 1 for Lord Krishna, and we'll read a small story from Rasa Leela, Dancing with the Gopis, for this Krishna Janmashtami celebration. Just a little bit of about Lord Krishna. So Rasa Leela, Dancing with the Gopis. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So when the next winter season arrived, it brought crystal clear skies adorned with the beauty of the radiant moon and shimmering stars. One particularly lovely night when the moon was full and the breeze was wafting the fragrance of jasmine, Lord Krishna remembered his promise to the gopis and planned to delight them by sporting with them beside the Yamuna river. Krishna then lifted his flute and played a special melody with the root letter Klim, K-L-I-M, Klim. So what does Klim do? The awakener of love in the human heart. So Klim is a root letter. हम बोलते हैं मूल मंत्र. तो क्लीम 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 क्लीम, ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं Chamundaya Viche. So these are the root letters. Very, very powerful. So Klim is the awakener of love in human heart. As that melody traveled through the wind, it delighted the hearts of the gopis, and they became completely overwhelmed by it. Forgetting whatever they were doing at the time, they were drawn to the irresistible sound. Gopis who were milking their cows just dropped their buckets and ran to find Krishna. Those who had milk boiling on the fire left it bubbling. Those who were cooking pudding left the pudding half done. Those who were serving food to their relatives dropped their vessels and ran. Mothers left their children and wives left their husbands, and all ran swiftly to the source of that wondrous melody. Those who were restricted from leaving by their relatives secluded themselves behind closed doors and united themselves with Krishna in meditation. Okay, those who could not go, they hid themselves and they performed meditation like rivers flowing to the ocean. So when the gopis assembled before him, Krishna wanted to test the sublimity of their devotion. Thus he said, "Why have you left your homes? Why are you not true to your own husbands? Why do you seek me out as your beloved? This is contrary to the ethical laws. You should all go home." The gopis were surprised when they heard Krishna speaking in that harsh way, and they responded with words that proved their awareness of his glory and majesty. Their expressions made it clear that they loved him not as an ordinary person, but as the self that abides in them. So this is where so many people, they talk like as if Lord Krishna is a human being. He appears human being like us, but he has come on earth in that form just so we can be more close and see with our own eyes and know that God can descend for us. And that is why, because that spark is already in us. So it's the connection there. So in response to the purity of their souls, Krishna then sported with all the gopis by the Yamuna river, assuming numerous forms, delighting each one of them as if he were there for each one individually. So this is where he was not like in one physical form there. He was in many forms, and each gopi thought that he's with me, he's with me, he's with me. But he's God. He can multiply. So as a result, however, the women developed a sense of subtle pride, feeling that they were the best of women in the whole world since they captured the beloved of all. When Krishna saw that they had developed that pride, he suddenly disappeared. This is so amazing. So he suddenly disappeared. See how Lord even tests us. If we have pride and ego, that I'm the one, I'm the best, I can sing the best, I can read the best, I can cook the best. So when that ego creeps into us, we certainly begin to get a test. So he said, let me try. So he's disappeared. So overcome with grief at Krishna's disappearance, the gopis began to look for Krishna everywhere, asking every tree, every creeper, every flower if they knew where Krishna had hidden himself. Filled with a terrible pain of separation, they began recalling all the details of their joyous sporting with Krishna, all his mannerism and actions, all the heroic deeds that characterized his childhood. As they continued searching, they discovered at one place along their way the footprints of their beloved. Along with the footprints of Krishna were the footprints of a gopi, whom they concluded had secretly gone away with Krishna. The later Puran writes later on the Puranas were written. So the later Purana writers identified this gopi as Radha. So he had So some Puranas, so later written after this incident, then they said it was Radha. So in despair, because they could not find Krishna anywhere, the gopis poured out their hearts in song in praise of their beloved. A song referred to as Gopika Geet. It's called Gopi Geet. It's so beautiful. So it's full of bliss, which is written in most melodious Sanskrit because of the purity with which they express their yearning. Krishna appeared before them again. So after they sang the Gopi Geet, only then Lord Krishna appeared himself, because that Gopi Geet was full of melody. So maybe tomorrow I will read a little bit of that Gopi Geet if I find my version of it, my copy. And so after hearing that, Krishna appeared before them again, smiling gently. He was a mass of beauty with yellow apparel decking his body, and the forest flowers forming a garland on his neck. The moment they saw the beautiful form of Krishna, the gopis entered into ecstasy. Filled with joy, overwhelmed by their sublime devotion, Krishna explained that he had disappeared briefly only to help remove certain limitations within their heart, and to encourage their love to flow on more steadily to perfection. So this is for us. Lord Krishna is saying, no ego. Clear your heart, clean your heart. So then, with the gopis free of any defect in their love, Krishna revealed himself in as many forms as there were cow headresses, the gopis. By the shimmering sand of the moonlit Yamuna river, they formed a splendid circle of divine love, with one manifestation of Krishna between every two gopis, dancing with arms entwined. This sublime dance was witnessed by countless deities from the celestial realms who had crowded the sky, enjoying the radiation of intense joy as Krishna danced with these purest of devotees, pure devotees. When morning approached, the gopis returned to their homes with profound contentment. Due to the magic of Krishna's Maya, their families did not feel that they had been away at all. So, Krishna Lila. So, Krishna Lila is the drama of Lord Krishna, and it's just amazing. And I have been to Nidhivan, where the Ras Lila took place, and the trees are in pairs over there still, and never dying trees. So there's beautiful story behind it. They say it still happens there, but another time. So this portion, I just want to continue here with this meaning behind this Ras Lila. Actually, it's Ras. Ras is the nectar, the juice. So this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam that describes the Ras Lila or dance of Krishna with the gopis is one of the most poetic portrayals of divine communion to be found in bhakti. That's devotion, the bhakti literature. It is an attempt to express in words and images the highest bliss. Bhuma. Bhuma is another word, Sanskrit word for highest bliss or nirvana, that a devotee experiences. This magnificent painting of a wondrous dance in the forest of Vrindavan which is Nidhivan, that forest. So this is the forest of Vrindavan. It is in Vrindavan, near Delhi, is actually a painting of what occurs when the human heart in the state of divine communion. When there is divine communion, you feel so joyful and happy and in bliss. Just like that. Nothing to say. So many people think something good happened, that's why you are in joy. No, you are in joy, in bliss, because you are in communion with God. Of course, other good things may happen in the worldly, but it's temporary, it's for a little bit. But this bliss is, it's going on and on for a long time. It's kind of permanent. It may be low and high, but it's permanent once you have gained that. Vrindavan is actually a painting of what occurs within the human heart in the state of divine communion. Your chitta, that means heart or deep unconsciousness, becomes clear as the autumn sky, the mind free of all selfish desires and impurities shines like the full moon, radiating the beauty of the self. A deep feeling of divine love surges like the Yamuna River. At that moment of perfection, the melody of eternity that vibrates from the flute of Krishna or the divine self within can be heard with total clarity. So you have to, I wouldn't say you have to develop, you have to be blessed. You have to do that austerity, that sadhana, and it happens automatically. So at that moment of perfection, the melody of eternity that vibrates from the flute of Krishna or the divine self within can be heard with total clarity. Then all your divine sentiments presented by the gopis flow to the divine self, the embodiment of love and bliss in a thrilling dance of divine communion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Radhe Krishna. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai, Radha Jai, Radha Jai, Radha 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 Jai, Krishna Jai, Radha Jai, Krishna Radha Krishna Radha Krishna Jai. Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Om. And tomorrow we will read this portion, the last judgment portrayed in the language of love. So we will continue from here tomorrow. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Om Sarvamangal Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Divine love, light, healing, peace, bliss, prosperity, Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti. May this divine love reach you and your entire family, your near and dear ones. Divine blessings. May this flute, the Basuri of Lord Krishna, ring in your ears. And be connected with Lord Krishna, heart to heart. This is Swami Lalita Priyananda from Sacramento, California. Hari Om Tat Sat.